Hey, this is John Carlos, and I'm here with a look at the Walmart-exclusive Ghostbusters Funko Pop 3-pack of the Gatekeeper, Zuul, and Keymaster. Here's a look at a little bit of the artwork on the top. So the Dana Pop comes with a little figure stand that you can just plug it in the bottom of her feet, even though she doesn't really need it because she stands pretty good on her own. Now this is Dana in her outfit when she's been possessed and is the Gatekeeper. And it's a very simple outfit, and I think Funko's done a good job of sculpting it. It just sort of drapes over her shoulder there, and you can see there's just a bunch of fabric, and it's all sculpted to be kind of wrinkly and kind of drapey along the sides, with that little like sash going around her waist. The paint on that sash is pretty good. I like the pose of her arms out, and her little tiny fingers are sculpted, so that's nice. She's got bare feet. It's pretty simple, pretty clean paint. There's no orange paint bleeding onto anything. And then you get to her head, which I think does a great job of capturing her 80s-rific big, like, hair. The sculpt of it's pretty solid. You can see all these little kind of curly cues going around through it, and the paint line follows the sculpt pretty good. The eye makeup's pretty good too on this character, as far as putting that little kind of like line of purple above her black eyeball, but the black eyeball paint is clean. The eyebrows are good. There's a little bit of like blush on her cheeks. There's a little tiny bit of like dirt smeared on her face, but nothing too drastic. Yeah, overall, it's a simple pop, but as a fan of Ghostbusters, I think this one turned out really good. Also turning out really good is the Lewis Tully pop. I think this looks freaking great. I love how he looks in the movie anyway at that point. Once he gets to the Ghostbusters station and they strap that on his head, and, he's sniffing around, he's got the pizza and all that. And I love that they included the pizza from that scene. I think, first of all, the paint on it's pretty clean, like the yellow and the little pepperoni stuff. But, like, his shoes are well painted compared to his pants. I like that his shirt includes the light white lines going down the light blue shirt. It's a nice detail that I'm glad they included and didn't forget. And you can see his little undershirt sticking out through his main shirt, and the separation between all those is really clean too. Like, there's no paint bleeding on any of this. There's a little bit of fading of the skin paint over his hands. You can see the light blue kind of poking through, but really that's not bad. I ordered this online, which is something I never do almost, because I just don't like not being in control of the paint jobs that I pick. But for ordering online from Walmart.com, I gotta say, this one turned out really clean. Look at his hairline. It's pretty good until you get to the strap. Like, that side's good, and this is just me being a real nitpicky a-hole, but you can see that some of the brown paint bled onto the strap there. But the separation between the hair and the ears is really good. I like his eyeballs are really well painted, and you can see them through the glasses lenses. I hate when the glasses lenses are thick or cheap and you can't see through them. The frames are painted well, so overall it's a really good look. The strap on his chin is pretty good. Like, it follows the line close enough that I can't really be too nitpicky about that. Where this thing really succeeds, though, is all the wiring on top. You can just see, like, the green and the yellow and the blue. Follow it for the most part. Even if there's a little slight off-centerness or slight fade, it all generally follows really well. And you just see how cleanly the red and the blue cables all look. Also, there's a lot of detail to include on the top of a pop head, so I gotta give Funko a lot of props for sculpting all this, for painting it, just for going with this version of Keymaster Lewis, because I'm really happy with how this turned out. He is a freaking great looking pop. Lastly, we have Zuul. Well, it says Zuul, but really it could be either of the two terror dogs. It could be Vinz Clortho. It could be Zuul. I mean, they're essentially the same. I know one could argue that the Vinz Clortho one has slightly longer horns, but to me they look the same, and this could be either. Now, here it is next to the other two pops. You can just see how much bigger it is. I like that it's a slightly bigger pop because, at the end of the movie when it's all charred and they're breaking out Dana and Lewis from them, they are, considerably larger, enough for a person to fit inside. And I think the detail on the body is pretty good. I like the pose that it's in. I like that it's sculpted, seated on its butt with its, front legs, paws going forward. And you can see a little tail there. And the overall paint scheme is alright. I mean, it is a pretty basic gray in the movie, so there is a, like a two-tone, like a darker wash gray over a lighter gray. I like the kind of fat wrinkles around its shoulders, and on its legs it kind of reminds me of like elephant skin, at least the way this is sort of sculpted. But yeah, the paint on the little nails, the claws are really clean too. There's really none that are bleeding onto the rest of the body. What I find interesting is the head, because at first looks, I like this. and I still like it, but I kind of wish there was more detail to this, because you look at the movie, and their skin surface has a lot of detail to it, and I just wish this wasn't so smooth. It just seems like such a simple sculpt. Granted, these are Pops, and they're supposed to be simple and cute, but I look at what what Funko did with the big Rancor, and I feel like that amount of detail could have been applied as far as sculpting texture to this. But look, it's still cute. It's still cool looking. It looks like a terror dog, and I like the red eyeball paint. It's pretty clean. I love the sculpted brow ridge. I like its little nose, but they did a great job with its mouth and its teeth inside, including this little bit of like black paint on the sides of the teeth here, just to kind of fill in that emptiness a bit. So that's a nice little detail I'm glad they included, but the sculpting is really good. I do like the horns. I just wish there wasn't so much gray paint showing on my particular horn, but overall, this looks pretty good. As a fan of the Terror Dogs, like, I'm really happy that we have a Terror Dog Pop, because that's just freaking awesome. As a fan of Ghostbusters and as a pop collector, I think this whole set is awesome. We've already had the Ghostbusters, and variants of the Ghostbusters, and a couple of different Slimers, and a bunch of different Stay Puffs. I think it's about time that we had some newer characters, so I'm really glad that we finally have the minions of Gozer. This is long overdue. As a fan, I'm very happy with this. So thanks for watching, and follow me on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff.